Howie Roseman really has been hitting home run after home run so far this free agency period. It's official now. Saquon Barkley is an Eagle. We're going to talk about yesterday's free agency, different rumors, thoughts, opinions, how we grade what Howie Roseman has done so far. We're going to talk it all. Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, whatever else. It's on the agenda. Chris Romanelli, most famous Eagles season ticket holder, joins us 30 minutes into the show. Trending in the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions live. 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow, click that notification bell. There are the things you can do to help grow this great show, this show that's trying to take over the morning airwaves here in Philadelphia, doing what we do best, talking sports, talking Philadelphia sports, and mostly talking the Philadelphia Eagles on a daily basis. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me any social media platform I'm on at Beard and Knowledge. Make sure you shoot me a follow. TikTok, Instagram, TikTok for while it's around, till it's not around. Who knows? Whatever. Twitter, wherever you can find me. And yesterday was the official day of the NFL free agency starting. So all these contracts are slowly starting to become official. All the work, all the GMs across the NFL have been doing. Even the Cowboys finally made a move. So our Eagles are officially now in the Saquon Barkley business. Our Eagles are officially in the Brandon Huff business. Gave a nice contract extension to the BKIF, best kicker in football, Jake Elliott, keeping him locked up long term with a 4-year deal. $24 million, tying for the highest pay to a kicker with Justin Tucker. So Howie Roseman stayed active. It wasn't the most exciting day of free agency so far, but it was still a very important day. So we're going to talk all about that today. Chris Romanelli, a good friend of mine, part of the season ticket advisory board of the Philadelphia Eagles, our representative at the Super Bowl back in 2018 or 17. Great guy. I can't wait to get his thoughts on what is going on with free agency so far, but also the personal connection he has with some of these legends that have retired and his thoughts on that. We'll talk to him in just a little bit. I can see you, TMC. Don't worry. James Bradbury, Chiefs playoff antics may spike rule change. What? I don't know that. I think I know what you're talking about there. Eagles 4-20 onside kick. Yes, I saw that. We're gonna do a roll. We'll talk about the proposed rule changes throughout the week and next week. But at some point we will. The 4th and 20 I love. The other proposed rule about having tenths of seconds on the clock, that just makes too much sense why it's not done already. There's a lot of things that every year there's 10, 12 rules proposed. Eagles lose. Yeah, we'll get into that as well. How expensive will Barkley get? He signed his deal. It's 3 years. It's $26 million, really only over 2 years. So I'm not really too worried about that. 61-yard kick versus the Giants was when I knew Jake was special. Just think of the next level thinking. We're praising Howie Roseman for a really solid offseason so far. Really doing what he needs to do this offseason so far. There's still a lot of work to do. But Jake Elliott, man, getting the contract extension just brings up the reminder that he plucked him off the Bengals practice squad. Dude was languishing on a how many kickers are even on practice squads? The Bengals had one, and they just let him walk. Walk right down the street to Philly, and he's become clearly one of the best kickers in football, robbed of a Pro Bowl berth this year from that dude from Dallas, that rookie from Dallas. But a well-deserved 4-year, $24 million extension. Putting him in that Justin Tucker realm of pay. But that's just Howie Roseman next level thinking. Seeing somebody like Jake Elliott and grabbing them. Kickers are a weird breed. Jake Elliott would have succeeded anywhere. He just needed a chance. It's not like, kickers' skill sets don't translate to different teams. A kicker is a kicker. It's like certain quarterbacks will succeed on certain teams and not on others because of systems. Kickers are kickers. He saw Elliott. He got him. Maybe he got a little lucky. I'm sure Cincinnati's kicking themselves in the ass for not picking that one up right away. But, it is what it is. Mid-teams ruin it for everybody. Mid-teams ruin what for everybody? I need to know what. Titans paying mid. Yeah. The Titans just screwed the Eagles. The Eagles got to pay Devontae Smith. And sure, it's going to happen. And it has to happen. But the Titans just screwed Devontae Smith and the Eagles. Because they gave Calvin Ridley 4 years, $92 million. 4 years, $92 million. 50 guaranteed. He is now the second highest guaranteed money to a wide receiver in the NFL, Calvin Ridley, behind Tyreek Hill. That's not good. So now when Devontae Smith sits down with his agent and Howie Roseman, time for that contract extension talk, where I thought he was just going to get that 4 years, $100 million that A.J. Brown got. Now Devontae Smith's going to be like, yo, I'm 10 times the wide receiver that Calvin Ridley is. That 4-year, $100 million, you should have signed that up before he signed for 92. Time to give me a little bit more. I actually like Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley's a good wide receiver. I like what he's done with his career, etc., coming back. And before he got injured, he was really good with the Falcons. But $92 million, over $20 million a year. You didn't want to pay A.J. Brown, so you're overcompensating by paying Calvin Ridley almost A.J. Brown money. You've just screwed the wide receiver. I mean, just think about it. The wide receiver market's been pretty slow. Calvin Ridley was the biggest deal so far. But $39 million for Gabe Davis. Some of the contracts going to wide receivers, some of these contracts are getting a little overpaid for these wide receivers. Good morning, Duck. How you doing this morning? Hope you're well. Do you think the overtime rules diminish the kicker's heroic and historic role? No, I still think kickers play an important role, for sure. The 2-point conversion obviously changed it a little bit. Moving the extra point back, I think, made it a little important. There's still plenty of importance of having a good kicker, especially when weather comes into play and in the playoffs when the pressure moments are there. I mean, what did Jake Elliott make last year? Like 85, 86% of his kicks, 97% of his extra points. 80-some percent. I mean, you got to think about it. That's pretty clutch. You need a guy that's going to go out there in December with a game on the line, and you have the confidence that he can make the play, make the kick. And we have that confidence. He's on par with breaking Jake Elliott's Eagles kicking records and scoring records. He's right there, tracking to be the all-time scorer in Eagles history. 4 more years of Jake Elliott. He's got if he keeps this up for 6 years, he'll be the all-time leading kicker in Eagles history. In my opinion, he's already had more clutch big moments than David Akers. And David Akers is a great kicker, one of the all-time greats. But just saying, how many games have been won and lost on kickers just this past season? Now, even meh kickers are making 50 yards. That's true. That's true. The 50-yard field goal isn't what it used to be. And I'm not sure why. Are kickers like becoming stronger in the legs? Are they using roids in their legs? What is it that has caused kickers to all of a sudden become so much better from 50 yards out? It's really weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me how kickers have automatically or all of a sudden become so much better over the last couple of years. But you still, it's one thing to make a 50-yard field goal. It's another thing to make a 50-yard field goal with 30 seconds left in the game, with the windy conditions, with the playoffs on the line. I totally did not expect to spend 10 minutes talking Jake Elliott to kick off the show, but we are. There's a big difference between having that clutch gene and be able to make it when the pressure is on. Then you got a 53-yard field goal with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. It seems like everybody can make that now. It's really weird. It's really interesting. I'm not sure what has caused the fact to do that. It's like, it used to be a 99-mile-an-hour fastball was something special. Now, 90% of relievers in baseball throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, at least there's some, thought process that goes into it, the training. What has changed in the kicker's training that makes them all able to kick 50-yarders now so accurately? Was there a game? I think there was a 9-3 game this year, or a 9-6 game this year, or something like that. I do. I can't stand the Titans. Yeah, I don't think the Titans make no sense to me. The Titans and the Giants. The Titans, you don't spend $92 million on a wide receiver when you don't have a quarterback yet. A wide receiver is like a closer in baseball. It's the last thing you get. You build your offensive line, you get your franchise quarterback, then you give them weapons. The Titans are doing it backwards. They're getting the weapons, and then going to say, all right, and then we'll figure out our quarterback situation. The Giants had weapons, got rid of Saquon Barkley, then said, let's go get an offensive line. Not while they had the weapon. It just makes no sense. Good morning, Dad. Reality check. How you doing this morning? A great point. Titans would sign the best wide receiver, AJ, but still, yeah. Calvin Ridley's a good wide receiver. I don't want to besmirch Calvin Ridley. I just think it's insanity that he got $92 million, 50 of it guaranteed. The fact that only one other wide receiver in football has more guaranteed money in his contract than Calvin Ridley. That is what's insane. I think kickers have become more of a science since the 80s. All right, so there's more science behind it. Maybe that's it. They have been moving more to a soccer-style kick, and the straight-on kicks is now extinct. That makes sense. You see more of the bending and the knuckle kicks. You see a lot. Maybe there is more science to it. The launch angles of the kicks and whatnot. Maybe there is something to that, Duck. There's definitely a possibility of that. I remember as a kid growing up in the early 90s and someone like Roger Rusick. There's a name from the past. Kicker of the Eagles during the Cunningham era. He'd come out and hit a 47-yarder, and I'd be like, oh, my God, that was amazing. Now, if you miss a 47-yarder in the NFL, get him off my team the next day. 47-yarder is almost a chip shot at this point. Bill should sign Ridley, someone said. Calvin Ridley is a good wide receiver. He's just not a $92 million wide receiver. We need a legit number one. You have a number one there in Stefan Diggs. So next year's Madden cover for Madden 26 should be Howie Roseman. We need to make it happen. That's actually a hilarious comment. Because Madden has become so much about franchise modes and, legacy modes or whatever they are. Everyone's building their franchises, putting Howie Roseman on the front. What would you guys grade Howie Roseman's decision so far this offseason? As a whole, not each individually, as a whole. I'm kind of in the realm right now where Howie's had a B+ offseason. It seems on paper pretty damn good. You got a starting safety, a new starting edge rusher, an elite top 3 running back. You picked up some depth pieces, Devontae Parker, Bond, what's his name? Zach Bond, Lloyd Braun, whatever. He's done really well so far. The one thing I will say about his offseason so far is that he's all in. He's proving that he's all in. Anybody thinking that we were going to take a step back, Howie Roseman was like, we're all in. The Titans quarterback mid as heck. They don't even have a quarterback, really. Don't give me Will Levis. Titans have always done it backwards. That tells you exactly. Yeah. Didn't they change GMs? And they're still doing it backwards? Ridley has tons of gambling money. Oh, my God. Someone had to go there. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Yeah. He's got a little extra. Hopefully he learned to slide some cash under the table to a friend and told the friend to go to a local bar to place his bets. I don't get how you get caught. Like, you're not allowed to do it. It's so easy to get caught. Why even do it? And I know Mark, when he's on the show, he always talks about how gambling and being in bed, the gambling partners with the NFL, is such a dangerous, slippery slope, and it's a long, deep conversation. But yeah, good for Ridley. The clubfoot kicker. Top of the morning to you as well. Hey, it's almost St. Patty's Day. We're 3 days away from a day that everyone's allowed to get drunk? Everybody's allowed to get drunk and go to work? Now Diggs and Eagles was going to be super deep. What? A++++++, etc. for the all season from Reality Check so far for Howie Roseman. I think the moves made so far cannot be A+. They could be A+. They also could be dig. Because in Reality Check, big picture, a lot of the moves made by Howie Roseman have super high ceilings, but they also have huge floors or really low floors. That's my opinion. I trust Howie is the man, but it's not like Howie. What? Morning, Mitchie Poo. How you doing? Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons? Give me my. I'm just gonna turn in my Sixers card if I have to choose that. Eagles probably got a lot better if you got another edge and a cornerback. Giants pay $30 million a year to an edge with like 7-9 sacks. The Giants out there paying offense and defensive linemen after getting rid of their best weapon. Make it make sense. It's hard to make that make sense. Really is. Titans just need to sign Wentz and just live and die by him until they get a franchise in place. It's actually not a bad place for Carson Wentz to go try and rejuvenate his career. He'd have to battle Will Levis. And if he loses that job out to Will Levis, then he might as well just hang him up. You know, it is what it is. They're gambling on Ridley. They are gambling big time on Calvin Ridley. Howie's an A+ GM, no question. He's taking his lumps, but seems to learn from his mistake. He does. Howie Roseman evolves so much and so consistently. And I love it. He learns from his mistakes very well. Wide receiver. Yeah, I know that. I know that. Way worse GMs than Howie. I can promise you that. Oh, I know. No one's saying anything bad about Howie here. The extra pluses are for what he hasn't done yet. But I didn't say that. I said as of now. You got to hear the whole question. You got to answer the question the way it is presented. You can't change the question with your answer. Only I can do that. I'm getting hammered on Patty Day and going to Fox's Pizza to eat off. Hey, knock yourself out. Isn't St. Patty's Day on a Sunday this year? Like, that's annoying. That's really annoying, honestly. My last name starts with a Mick. Does that mean I get free drinks at the pub on St. Patty's Day? No. Nothing in life is free. Listening to national media, this is Nick's last stand. Almost outdoor last year. You know, I hate that narrative. I hate that conversation, but Howie Roseman's giving him the tools. He needs to get Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, all on the same page. I do have a very, very interesting hot take on Vic Fangio. We'll get into it later in the show. But yeah, If it comes out next year and we run the same stale offense that we ran last year with the additions of Saquon Barkley, Devontae Parker, whoever else they add, Hunter Renfro's a name that he got released by the Raiders. I'm intrigued if you can get him cheap enough to be your slot wide receiver. The offense is there. The talent is there. The money has been invested. There's no excuses. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, for anyone. Howie Roseman's like, here are the ingredients to make the best beef Wellington in the world. Got you the top filet, everything you need. Better complete it now. Honestly, when you have an off season like the Eagles have had so far, like you really do have to put the Super Bowl or bust tag on the Eagles. You do. You kind of have to at least think that those expectations are being put on this team. I mean, it's just been a few names so far. Barkley, Huff, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They're the real main names. The Lane and Dickerson extension as well. They're the main names brought in so far. Yeah, other names too, but they're the three big ones so far. It's such a successful start that you got Jason Kelce already a week and a half later going on podcasts and radio stations saying, oops, maybe I made a mistake retiring so soon. Maybe I wish I was playing with all these guys. Don't worry, I don't think Kelce is coming out of retirement. I know everybody's seeing his words and saying he's going to come out of retirement. I don't see it. He's got too much pride, I think, to go through that cry speech, that tearful speech, and then turn on the dime. Now, if the Eagles are struggling massively at the center position, or there's massive injuries on the offensive line, and they're desperate, maybe week 7, week 8, they beg him to come out. I could see that. But he's not going to say, I want to come back and change his mind. It's just not going to happen. Is Fox is doing a 3-1-4 Oh, shit, that's today. I think I am. Kind of forgot about that. Part of my rewards program, automatic emails go out. And I think we have an automatic $3.14 small cheese pizza email going out today. Totally forgot about that. I didn't even know what today's date was, Peanut. I lose track of the dates. Every day just blends into the next. I wouldn't move out mid-sweat, sign a better safety, draft edge, center, cornerback, and tight end. Eagles all set. You make it sound so easy. I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Sweat. There are rumors still floating around that Josh Sweat could straight up just be cut very soon, which I find it hard to believe. I hate just cutting a player. Like, you can't tell me someone's not at least offering you a 6th-round pick for Josh Sweat. I know that's not good value, but it's better value than just cutting them. I don't know. Seems stupid to just cut Josh Sweat. We couldn't afford all this additional talent with Kelce and Cox still on the books. I disagree. I massively disagree with you on that, Duck. I really can't clear my sinuses this morning. All these signings the Eagles have made, reports are they've barely used any of their cap space on it. So even if they did bring Kelce and Cox back, it would only be on 1-year deals. And at this moment, they still got like $35, $38 million of cap space. Think of that. They gave $30-some million to a running back, $30-some million to a safety, $50 million to an edge. They still got $39 million, I think is what the number was. Think about that. There's still plenty of money to be spent. And I think they are going to spend it. I really, truly feel a massive move is income. Maybe not today. And I know there's a source-off going on between Eagles content creators. And there's a lot of people calling a lot of people names on social media right now. I might be called clown content or trash content yesterday, but at least I'm not out here lying that I've got sources. And I'm not out on social media saying my sources are better than your sources. And then the other person saying my sources are better than your sources. And this and that, calling people names and stuff. There's far too much bitterness amongst content creators on social media. Too much hate going on in the game. And it's annoying as hell. It really is. I don't have any sources. I just have 43 years of watching football to know there's a big move. You don't do what they've done so far without a plan for one more big move. And I'm not saying this is it. I have no sources. I have no whatever. But if the Denver Broncos are truly trying to move on from Patrick Surtain to get draft capital, that's going to happen. All right, guys. We're going to catch up on the comments later because joining me on the I Have No Sponsor hotline is my favorite guy to have on the show, the most famous season ticket holder of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chris Romanelli. How you doing, my man?
Not too bad. How about yourself? It's been a while.
Not too bad. It's been a fun, exciting, and also very tearful offseason so far for Philadelphia Eagles fans. And I wanted to get you on because of the first part of the offseason first, because you've got a really strong connection with this team. I mean, you've been a season ticket holder since like 1847, I believe.
1992,
I think you were in the Coliseum cheering on the Eagles at one point.
I was.
And with Jason Kelce retiring and his emotional speech and Fletcher Cox, I wanted to get you on first to talk about that, what they meant to you, what it meant, like how you felt. I'm assuming you were one of the grown men tearing up during Jason Kelce's press conference.
Yeah, it was. I was at the office and like, what's going on? I'm like, just close my door, please. I said, I need to watch. My coworkers like, we need to talk. I'm like, we don't need to talk right now. There's more important things going on. But I was sad to see him go as a player, but I understand. I mean, his body's getting beat up.
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to go. He gets to go out at the top of his game. Not many players do. He gets to spend his entire career here. Not many players do. He picked his successor. How many players get to do that? Mm-hmm. So you have to trust that that's a good thing. If he had anything left, he'd be here. You probably saw clips from his podcast yesterday that it hurt that when he saw that they got Barkley. So if his heart isn't 100% there, this is the NFL. Mm-hmm. It was time. So same with Fletcher, and I keep hearing with Fletcher, oh, we're not getting a press conference. He knew he was done. He wants away. So as much as players, and they've been great for over a decade, I get it. And hopefully they taught their successors they how to take over, like from Jurgens to Davis to Carter to Milton Williams. We have to, because if they signed them for 2 more years and then they put us, and in 2 years we're now 5 and 12 because we held on too long, we would be complaining about that too. So
that is a great point, because that's something that happened with the Phillies a lot. Right. During the 08 to 11 run, they held on to guys too long. And then we had 12, 13, 14, 15, where we were just a train wreck of an organization in Philadelphia. Obviously, I no doubt about it, that Jason Kelce is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you think the NFL voters will make 5 years from now all Philadelphia Hall of Fame and have both Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce going in the same day? And if that's the case, you're going to be making the trip out there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I will. You're forgetting a guy that might be on that ballot. And nobody keeps bringing him up. And if he doesn't sign anywhere this year, the bodyguard. Jason Peters.
Wow, I forgot. He's been playing football for 37 years,
Right. Well, he was there to open the doors to the Coliseum when I started.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So no, because the one thing is, every all-decade player that is eligible for the Hall of Fame has been in, and that's Fletcher Cox. He's the Eagle that was the all-decade player, not Kelce.
Right.
Fletcher Cox was an all-decade player. So yeah, I think I would love to see, though I don't know how the NFL would take Philadelphia having 3 players going in at once, and I don't know that Cantons could survive.
Hey, maybe they have 4. Maybe in 5 years they finally put Eric Allen in the Hall of Fame.
When he's going, I think he goes in next year. That's a whole other story.
Well, I've been saying that for like 10 years now.
Right,
but
but next year's
going in and
next year's his last year being eligible under the players, under the regular. He would go to the senior at that point, and I won't be able to take it if Eric Allen's not in by then.
that's I still, if no offense, and this is not a knock on Jason Kelce or Fletcher Cox, if they get into the Hall of Fame before Eric Allen does, that's just, there's something I'm missing. I mean, I'm not much younger than you. I grew up during the Eric Allen era as well. There's no reason. I can't come up with a reason that I know that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
there's got to be some underlying issue that we don't know about, or behind the scenes.
I keep hearing, and it's the best I can, is they think it was Reggie White's team and everybody else was just an average player, and that's so not the case.
Yeah, that's like probably one of the worst, things that somebody can say. It makes no sense at all.
No.
One other veteran did decide to come back, and I know you're extra emotionally invested in Brandon Graham.
Yes.
I know you have a very close connection with him. Are you glad that he's coming back? Because, no offense, he's in the same boat as Fletcher Cox and Kelce. I mean, he doesn't have much left in the tank.
Well,
but he is coming back.
It is different for him because he's a situational player. He's going to give you 20 snaps. He's not playing 75, 80 snaps a game. He's playing 20. His leadership is still there. He wanted to do the 15 years. It gets into the 15 years. And they still do need a leader on defense. And I think that he's part of that transition team, that transition that'll get to. I think Nolan Smith could use another year of his tutelage. We have a new young defensive end going to need his tutelage. I'm glad he's back.
Do you think this team, are you confident in at least the Fletcher Cox and the Jason Kelce, that they have done a good job tutoring these next guys that this year we're not going to, because all the rumors coming out at the end of the year were locker room issues. You've lost two of your three biggest locker room presences. Are we set for success with the locker room, with the leadership so far? Because new guys don't typically, and this is not a knock on Saquon Barkley, in all sports, the first year coming in, you're not instantly a leader in that locker room. Saquon's got the personality to be a leader, but he can't be that leader right away.
No.
Are you confident that there's guys in this locker room that can step up and fill that leadership role, that emotional connection role that's formed with the fans from those two guys that retired?
It's funny, the guy that I kind of see doing it, and it doesn't seem like it would be that guy, but it's Devontae Smith.
Okay.
He's all about football, and he's hard-nosed, and I think Philadelphia loves that. And when he just wants to win, and I think that even though personality, he's not out there. I love that about him, that he's just like, I want to win. He had a game where he had like 9 catches and 100 yards, and he didn't win it. He didn't care about his stats, and I think that leadership is going to come about. Landon Dickerson.
I was going to say, is Landon Dickerson the guy or Jordan Mailata? Landon Dickerson, Landon Dickerson strikes me more of a Lane Johnson, a lead on the field. Jordan Mailata's personality. I wonder if Jordan Mailata would be the guy. But say why you think it's Landon Dickerson, because I'm going to counter that Mailata's personality might be more locker room.
Dickerson has a personality. Dickerson has a personality, and I think now the big personality is gone. Unless Jason was the biggest personality I've ever seen this Eagles team have. Dickerson. Remember when? I remember during his combine when they were interviewing another Alabama player, and he's coming back from his AC, and he's doing cartwheels behind the camera, and him talking about his lawnmower and showing a picture of his personality is going to start to come out, and maybe it's a Mailata Dickerson combo that becomes that personality leadership. But I'm talking about the grit leadership of Devontae that I hope to see.
I mean, you got to lead by example,
right?
And Devontae Smith, because he's such a small person playing with such a big frame a small frame, but he plays bigger than his frame says.
Right.
Plus, he leads on the field. I mean, he lays out for everything. He doesn't alligator arm anything. Like, he
Right.
literally puts it all on the field in a very small, compact body. That can be very motivating to people. So I didn't think about that. It's weird you say him over A.J. Brown, who is the bigger name out of the two still at this point. The Eagles have given out that big extension to Landon Dickerson. Devontae Smith is going to happen. Something we were talking about on the show before you joined us is that because of Calvin Ridley getting massively overpaid, do you think that affects Devontae Smith? And now Devontae Smith sitting at the table with Howie Roseman saying, maybe you got to up that dollar amount a little bit more.
I always say with Howie Roseman, the cap is fake.
Yeah, well,
it's fake. It doesn't exist. It
doesn't
doesn't exist in his world. They'll make it work. Who have they let go that they wanted to keep?
You must be a rich businessman with all those season tickets.
I was, okay. Back on that. You know how much my first year cost? Just for the whole season. Just want to take a wild guess.
I mean, how many gold coins did you have to pay to the Coliseum to get in?
I had to not pay many shillings. No, honestly, you want to know how much my first season cost?
What was your first season?
1992.
1992. Okay, gotcha.
Take a wild guess.
8 games. I don't know. $400.
10 games. So we'll go 10 games because the full
season. Yeah. So $400, $500.
Not even close.
What was it?
$175.
God.
The ticket price was $350 for the year, $35 a game.
Wow.
And if you sat in the 700 level, you got them for half price.
Wow.
So it was $17.50 a game.
That is insane.
That was my first year.
Wow. And now you can't even get into one game for that.
My one seat is more than that for the game.
Yeah. That's insane. That's crazy how ticket prices have skyrocketed and stuff like that. All right, so outside of the emotional guys that have come and gone, obviously Howie Roseman, as always, has been really, really active. How are you feeling about the Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff? They're the two main. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I'm saving that for a separate conversation here with you in a minute. But Saquon and Huff were the big names they brought in. I'm shocked that Saquon. I'm still in shock that Saquon is a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, and it was just going in for a few days before. I'm like, they're really, really, really talking about him.
Yeah.
And I don't get hyped up because he's from Penn State because I went to Temple, so I don't care that he went to Penn State.
That's a whole episode. We could talk about how I hate that as a Philadelphia sports fan, we're required to be Penn State fans. I have no emotional connection to Penn State. Never have.
Me neither. Neither do I.
I mean, they're 4.5 hours away. I don't care about a football team 4.5 hours away.
Neither do I. Well, my team is 4.5 billion years from competing, so I get that. But I still got
my college was a Division III, so I don't really,
Well, but as a football player, he's special. And they need to change something else up. And a good running back under Kellen Moore's offense has been. Tony Pollard was great under him. Ezekiel Elliott was great under him, and he's better. I know you weren't a big fan of the signing. I think you're starting to come around a little bit.
I think people misunderstood what I was saying. I wasn't not a big fan of it. I just don't believe in spending that kind of money for a running back. But again, like you said, the cap space. I mean, you think about it right now. We've handed out how many contracts, and we've barely moved.
Right.
In the salary cap. We still have plenty of money to go out and sign with more people. So it's more of I didn't expect it. I don't believe in that philosophy, but I never said that Saquon Barkley wasn't an elite running back.
Oh no, I'm not telling you.
I just didn't get the philosophical change that Howie made there. That's all.
Well, I mean, the years. Look when we won the Super Bowl. It was a 3-headed monster, but we had backs. AJ, LeGarrette Blount, and he came in year one. Was listening to another podcast. They were talking about LeGarrette Blount, and he instantly became a leader on the team. And it was the offensive the quarterback's coach. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
17.
Frank Reich.
He went to the Colts too, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why I
Yes,
can't think of
you
his
know
name.
what I'm talking about. He was
Yeah.
saying he became one of his favorite Eagles because of his leadership skills. He matured, and so we need to run. We were a running team that year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit change in the philosophy. Linebackers are getting smaller. Defensive ends are getting smaller. Take your bigger offensive line and pound some people. Protect a quarterback who likes to run the ball. Give him the runs. Let the running back whose body is built for that take that and ease off your run. Ease off your. Don't let your quarterback be your best runner anymore. And I think that's where we started becoming. So I think it was time. And it sounded like
I think it makes sense. It's funny that everybody's talking about the changing in defense. I had actually Jeremy Bridges on when I was with my previous group and former Eagles lineman,
right.
and he talked about that the game is going to evolve. I also had some college head coaches on and assistant coaches on, and they said you're seeing smaller. And so they were talking about it 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The size of you don't see the 350-pound nose tackles anymore.
Right.
Clogging up the middle of the line. I know we have Jordan Davis. It's a rare thing, but you can run in between the tackles a lot easier now than you could 20 years ago because of the size. So this has been a slowly forming thing. And you see it, I mean, around the NFL. Just last year, this offseason, we were talking about running backs not getting paid enough. Guys were holding out and whatnot. Now you got Josh Jacobs getting a big deal. Saquon Barkley getting a big deal. DeAndre Swift getting $24 million. I mean, no offense to him. That's a big deal for DeAndre Swift.
Right.
A lot of NFL teams, short or long term, are giving big money deals to running backs. And I don't think it's because the salary cap went up. I think it's because of a philosophical change across the board.
Yeah, I think it's the linebackers are old safety sizes. Defensive ends are linebacker sizes. It's go after it, attack it, take your big offensive line, shove it down their throat.
Mista saying Hurts, Saquon, and Devontae is Aikman, Irvin, Emmett 2.0. That's a bold thing to say, Mista. I don't know if I'm ready to put them in the Emmett Smith category in the Cowboys. We'd have to win a Super Bowl. There was a lot of talk about people. A lot of Eagles fans were like, this Eagles team is going to be slightly rebuilding this year. They got to retool. They got to do this and that. Howie's shown he's all in.
Right.
By there's still a whole offseason to be had here.
Mm-hmm.
But he's already shown with his first 2 or 3 moves, he's going on. There ain't no rebuild, retool going on.
No. You don't have to.
When you pay Saquon Barkley, I know after it's really $26 million, not 30.
It's a 2-year deal
or whatever. It's kind of Super Bowl or bust once you start dumping this kind of money out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Jalen's big money doesn't hit for another 2 years.
Yep, it's not till 2026 is big money.
Yep. So you go for it. You always when you can get a guy that they think is special and they think he's special, he's got to. You sign that guy and you focus on him. I want to see a little, and I've never been a run the ball guy. When that I roll my eyes at that. But use it strategically and balanced, like San Francisco did with McCaffrey, like
Absolutely.
Baltimore does with Edwards.
I mean, everyone keeps saying it, so it's not the first time it's been said. McCaffrey was an injury-prone guy in Carolina. He goes to San Francisco, and he's been banged up here and there. But he's been, you take a great running back from a bad team, and you put him on a great team, even better things can happen. And that's kind of what the expectations are with Saquon. This is not to bash it is to bash the Giants. You take him off that awful organization. He comes here.
And the awful
things
turf.
have to be better.
And the awful turf.
Yeah. Well, I said that the second, and everyone's like, oh, no, nobody thought of that at first. That turf, 10 times a year playing on that. Now you're not only playing on once. That's a big difference on 2 knees. I don't know how anybody decides to go play for either of the New York teams. If I was a free agent, I wouldn't want to play there for the turf alone.
Right. Yeah. It's terrible.
Every so often I come out here and I feel the AstroTurf from the vet behind me. I'm like, I can't imagine.
I have that too.
I'm probably getting brain cancer like everybody else because this little piece is sitting behind me. But that's another whole subject. The other big move that was made was the re-signing or bringing back in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Mhm.
And I'm very adamant that I'm not a fan
Okay.
of it. A, the way he left. I know he gave a little one-line apology on Twitter, whatever. But B, you got two big things that people don't want to talk about. The fact that he does not, we're getting rid of Avonte Maddox because he can't stay healthy. Well, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's missed even more games in the last 3 years.
He has.
So there's an injury issue there. And two, it kind of links to the personality issue that we saw, how he immaturely left Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Eagles are 2 of these 4 teams, but this is going to be the 4th year that he's playing on a 4th different team.
I know.
Atlanta gave him away for next to nothing. We gave him away for nothing. Detroit is letting him walk for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't it concern anybody that this guy does not last long anywhere he goes? So there's definitely immaturity and personality issues outside of just the way he left.
Well,
and we're better at safety with him than without him. But why is nobody concerned?
Well, first off, I think he's going to be the corner slot.
Yeah, there's a chance of that. Yeah,
I think there might be another move at safety. He's 25. I was an idiot at 25.
Yeah, I'm still an idiot. 43.
Yeah, so I got you. He left Detroit because they just had they got Branch.
Yeah,
and their other safety. So there's room for him to go as a player that they actually replaced through his injury. And I think the Eagles wanted him back. I think his agent kind of messed that one up.
Oh, absolutely.
The spleen, the spleen was a freak thing. The bicep tears, those kind of things kind of scare me because that's just a tear is a tear. The spleen is that was a freak accident. He got caught under a rib. And how many ruptured spleens do you really see in the NFL?
Yeah.
Zach Ertz, him. It's not a huge. It's not. You see torn biceps or torn pectoral muscles every year. So
yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm just torn.
If he is
like I said, I know we're a better team with him than without him.
I just need
because
more.
Our safety room was so weak to begin with.
I need more secondary movement. I need more secondary movement before I'm ecstatic with the move.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just don't know what the next. I mean, the safety market has dried up a little bit. I know Justin Simmons is still out there. Some people are saying they have sources that say that Simmons is no longer on the board for Philly.
I'm not buying that one until he signs somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly. I don't see that. I think he wants to be here with Vic Fangio. I think Vic Fangio wants him. I still think there's a chance that he's here. It's just a matter of whatever. It's just interesting that you say it because you bring up that he might be Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the slot corner versus that, and that's what he was in Atlanta before he came to Philadelphia. New Orleans. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Atlanta. Yeah. Sorry, New Orleans.
He was better as a slot corner.
Yeah, I mean that's where his success came in New Orleans was in that slot.
Yeah. So,
no, go ahead.
Yes, that's what I need. I want more off of that signing. He can't be just the safety.
Are you surprised though that because I just put out a tweet the other day when the news broke that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is back, and I forget how I phrased it, but basically along the lines of I'm curious to see how Eagles Nation will react. And I just got 10,000 responses of I'm a baby for even suggesting that anybody's mad at him. Are you surprised at how Eagles Nation has so quickly turned and forgiven him before he even made an apology? Everyone was 110% on board. And literally, if I had 1,000 comments, 3 of them were negative about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson returning.
No, because our secondary was so bad. We'll take.
Is it really? That's why they're like, you know what? I don't care. You could be a masked murderer if you're going to pick 6 balls up. I don't care.
Lucifer himself could have been playing defensive back, and if he would help our team, we would. I'm in.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that at least you're being honest with it. That's why everybody's so quick to forgive here.
I'm good. You're
Nitro hates that I'm even bringing up the topic on a regular basis here. And again, Nitro doesn't understand that that's not my opinion. I'm just bringing up the question. I'm just bringing up the the theory for everybody to discuss. So secondary, is that what's left, on your big board? Because I know a lot of people are going to start talking about it. Because I'm going to bring it up after you leave the show. That Patrick Surtain still dangled out there as a potential trade target for somebody. Do you think Howie has another big move? Because the big moves, free agency wise, are pretty much done. There's nobody else out there really that would shock the system or make a major upgrade. I still have this gut feeling that Howie is going to make a massive AJ Brown type trade between now and draft day.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's on draft day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on draft day either.
Yeah, we have 3 ends right now with Reddick, Sweat, and Huff. I don't see him keeping them all. So there's a move there. I don't think someone said releasing him. You're not going to release Sweat.
Yeah. To me, that makes no sense to release Sweat because somebody's got to offer you something for Josh Sweat. It seems like.
I think there is another big move somewhere. It's definitely on defense because we've got no linebackers.
Literally no linebackers, but Nakobe Dean on this team.
Right, and Adam Kaplan mentioned that he was talking to a NFL person that really liked Van Sumer and he could be a TJ Edwards, but not yet. Not yet.
Gotcha.
That he's 2 years down the road of being that. So you can't go in with Ben Van Sumeren and Nakobe Dean. They got
to sum it all up. Are you
happy? I would love Trotter Jr., but I don't want to. I need a veteran.
That's a great point. I wasn't going to bring that up, but I kind of feel like, and you're emotionally invested in this team more than most. You're there every single week since 1992. Trotter Jr. is just a bloodline thing. Yeah. Trotter Jr. is only won it in Philadelphia because of the name. Everybody in Eagles fan and all the fans complain that Nakobe Dean's an undersized linebacker. So Trotter Jr. is an undersized linebacker as well. Right. He's literally just a bigger name version of Nakobe Dean in this city. No other NFL team would draft him before the 3rd round, but the Eagles would have to draft him in the 2nd or 1st to get him to make Eagles fans happy. And that's kind of, I'm not on board with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with not being. I haven't looked at the college players enough, and he's the one college linebacker name that I know. So let's just be honest. That's why I'm looking at it that way. But I don't want to go in with a rookie linebacker.
Neither do I. Devin White. That's the name I keep pushing for. I mean, I know he's not what he used to be, but if you've seen the linebacker market, where the running back market's booming, the wide receiver market's booming, if you look at some of the linebackers that have signed, I mean, Patrick Queen either is not as good as we all thought he was, or the market to linebackers is just drying up really quickly, and nobody wants to pay linebackers right now because Bobby Wagner only got a 1-year deal. A lot of guys are just getting 1 or short-term deals.
Yeah, and let it settle. That second wave, go for your linebacker. We need to get other linebackers, and I'm not wanting to draft a linebacker in the 1st round. I get it; it's not a priority position, but you got to have somebody at the position. I can't do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't send me out there.
Are you sure you don't want to go out there? I mean, don't they pick a random season ticket holder every single year to just go out and play one play like Rudy?
If I had to do it and they said you could play any position, what would it be? I'd hold for a kick.
Not even kick. Hold for a kick.
Yep.
Dude, and great segue to the last thing. Jake Elliott, 4-year, $24 million extension. That's just Howie next level thinking. Finding your kicker who is going to go down and pass David Akers as the best kicker in Eagles history off of another team's practice squad and turn him into one of the best kickers in your team's history. I mean, it's something special right there, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's the best kicker in Eagles history.
Yeah. You already see, I said that and I got bashed for saying that 6 months ago on a show.
No, he's already the best.
Everybody loves David Akers. I know, but come on now. Jake Elliott's more clutch.
I'm a lefty. I love Akers, but it's Elliott.
Oh, you're a lefty?
Yeah.
That explains it. Lefties are the devil, right?
I know.
Yeah. You're an old school guy. You know that. Right. I had another question to wrap it up with. Now I'm totally thrown off because we're talking kicking here now.
Well, can I make a
you wouldn't want to be like a wide receiver or a quarterback or a defensive end just for one play?
Dude, I do not have the athletic ability to do that.
Neither do I, but it'd still be fun.
Yeah,
Rudy didn't have the athletic ability, and he still went out there and did it.
I got a family to feed. I'm gonna be the holder.
Hold on, you got kids in college too, don't you? So you
I
got
do.
college bills coming in too.
Yeah, my daughter who turned 23 yesterday, in her first year of grad school.
You're
Got a
gonna be working till you're 85 years old to pay that off.
no. Can I make a shameless plug?
You can make a 3 shameless plugs.
All right.
You're the most famous season ticket holder, and you're the DJ of the Stars, so you can plug whatever you want.
All right. So, well, and it's Eagles related. The
Mhm.
Eagles Autism Challenge is coming up. The run's coming up in May. I am ninth in total fundraising, and I am $400 behind Howard Eskin. So, if anyone could help me catch Howard
Dude.
Eskin,
You send me the link after you get off the show here in a minute, and after the show, I will plug the hell out of that, because if I could get you to beat Howard Eskin in anything, it would absolutely make my day.
he's at $10,000. I'm at $9,500 raised.
You will make sure you beat. I will make it my life. I will put it in the description of this show every day going forward if you send me the link to it,
I will
because
send
there's
you the-
no way Eskin should be beating you, Chris.
Yeah, so I am right. But I want to catch him, even if it's for one day. I want to screenshot it that I caught Howard Eskin, the great.
I love it. We are going to make it happen. You get me the link. Actually, when you get off the show, you
Mhm.
can send me the link, but jump back in the show as just as a viewer and
Mhm.
put it as like a comment in the show. And anybody watching right now can click the link to check it out if you can.
Awesome.
All right,
I
everybody.
appreciate
Chris Romanelli. Make sure you follow him. Chris Rome, 731 season
Which was
ticket holder.
by the way, which was where I sat at the Vets, the 731.
Yes, yeah, I know that. Yes,
Right.
I know that. We've been through this conversation. They don't know that, but 731 was his section at the vet, and I love that. I still think it's one of the coolest things, out there with Twitter handles and social media handles using your section. That's what the vet was like. Your section was like, if you're from Delco, it's like, what parish are you in? If you're an Eagles fan, you're like, which section do you sit in? I think the two of things go hand in hand right there.
Yep. I actually have 2 Eagles jerseys, an Eagles with 731 on the back and one with 109 on the back that have my section numbers on them.
I love it. I love it. Chris, thank you very much for coming on today. And go Birds, man.
Go Birds. Thanks again.
Thanks, Chris. That was Chris Romanelli right there on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. I love talking to Chris because Chris, I mean, he's in there. I mean, he loves his Eagles more than anybody. Season ticket holder for what's 92? That's 31 years being a season ticket holder. Past Akers already, Jake Elliott, linebacker. I'll try to get caught up here on the comments here. Linebackers aren't being paid because how tough the position is on the body. That could be something. That could be something. No recency bias there. Oh, on the 8 passing Akers already. I don't know. Chris is Chris is emotionally attached, but he's also very honest with it. We're gonna bash you for bringing up again. I did not bring him up in negative light. I'm just bringing up the conversation point. That's it. I did not ask him Goodfella or Godfather. I can't remember that every time we have somebody on. In the NFL, soon as one of us walk on the field, the play is coming directly at us. Yeah. I still want to be out there one play. That would be pretty cool. How about the Tobias Harris sucks hotline? Oh, you want me to change the I Have No Sponsor hotline to Tobias Harris sucks hotline? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna run a poll on Twitter for you, Mitchie Poo. I'm gonna run a poll. Should I call it the I Have No Sponsor hotline or the Tobias Harris sucks hotline? I'm gonna run a poll. We'll see what happens. 11 likes. Well, let's get that. Let's reset real quick. You're watching Trending the AM, Philadelphia Sports Network. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Yesterday, actually all week up to today, viewership, like, shares have been booming. Today, a little slower. Come on, guys. We got to get on this. I must have messed up the thumbnail or the title somehow. I guess putting Howie Roseman in the title wasn't good enough. I think he was in The Godfather, K1. Chris Roman, I mean, he could have been. He could have been. No Flyers Talk Hotline. I mean, yeah, that's another. Give me 4 options to call it. We've got 3 now. No Flyers Talk Hotline. Give me one more. I need one more nickname, and we'll put it to a vote on what the hotline should be called for guests. I don't have any guests lined up anytime soon right now, but the next guest that comes on, the winner of the poll, gets the title of the hotline. But guys, you're watching Training the Am. Let's keep it going. A lot of comments came in. I missed a lot of them. If anybody wants me to retouch on something that they said earlier while we were talking with Chris, repost your comment in the comment section. Who do you want to crap on hotline? It doesn't have a great ring to it. Do you want? I don't know. That has a good ring to it, but it's not as negative. The other ones have a negative connotation to it. I need negative connotations. Did you get to look into Isaiah's? Oops, I did not look into Isaiah's. It was a very busy day at the pizza shop yesterday. I did not set. I normally set this show up around 2:30, 3 o'clock. I didn't have this show set up for today till 9:30 last night. It was a very, very slow, very late day. Yes, Travis, I do want to talk about this a lot. I know you commented on it earlier, and before Chris jumped on, I was about to hint at talking about it. So yes, Chris, again, thank you very much. And he's going to share with me the link. It's right here, guys. If you want to donate to his Walk for Autism fundraiser, let's get him to beat Howard Eskin. Let's make Chris the king, not Eskin. All right. Make sure you guys do it. And I'm going to make sure I share this every single day on this show until we get him to beat and pass Eskin, please. That's important. People wear a helmet if you are easily offended by CJ. Yeah. The Fox's Pizza is the best pizza. That might be option 4. We're just going to put this up on the screen again. Make sure you maybe snap a shot of that, copy and paste it off the screen, guys, and go check out Chris's donation line there for the Eagles Autism. Would greatly appreciate it. Can't have the king beat Chris. We all know the negs will get the views and calls, but you end up getting troll infections. Yeah. I mean, that's why I was told I was trash content yesterday. So I put a positive title, Howie Roseman's knocking the NFL free agency out of the park, and then viewership tanks. It is what it is. Like, share, subscribe, hotline. That's right. The hard reset hotline. How about that one? No worries. Check him out. I'm going to get to Isaiah Simmons. I want to talk Patrick Surtain. Travis has brought his name up a few times in the comments, and I'm not saying Patrick Surtain is becoming an Eagle. I am not saying I have sources. I don't. I'm not going to get into a source off on social media with other Eagles content creators. I don't. I talk opinions, theories. I use my 43 years of knowledge from watching sports to create my opinions and theories. I use some logic creating my theories. And I don't have sources. I don't want sources. I don't want to be a guy that says my source says, then I'm wrong, and then everybody questions me and calls me an idiot or whatever. So I'm not getting into a source off. I'm just using my knowledge that I have, my experience that I've gone through, to say that Howie's got a massive move up his sleeve, an A.J. Brown trade level move up his sleeve. Who's the biggest name that could equal an A.J. Brown type move that might be available in a trade? Patrick Surtain. Do the Eagles have the assets to get a Patrick Surtain? Yes, they do. So my theory right now is that Patrick Surtain could be an Eagle by draft night 1. What would you rather do as an Eagles fan? Draft, just hear me out. Draft Chop Robinson or Kool-Aid McKinstry at 22, or package 22, Josh Sweat, a couple other future picks, and get Patrick Surtain, a sure thing, an elite lockdown corner, a guy that's just going to be an anchor on defense for the next 10 years for the Eagles. Patrick Surtain's it. Now, I'm not saying he has to be it. I don't know who else is out there that is available in a trade. But Howie does not make the Saquon Barkley move unless he clearly has intentions of good going all in. No stone is left unturned from Howie this offseason. He is putting the Eagles in a position to win or at least get to the Super Bowl again in 2024. And a move of the ilk of trading for Patrick Surtain solidifies and finishes that. If you're going to get mid linebackers or draft a young linebacker or go with a patchwork linebacker crew, you better well go out and get an elite cornerback. Eagles algorithm hotline. Yeah, I like it. No problem, Chris. We love you here. The Elton John hotline. We care more about the hotline than anything else. Go, Phil. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a source. I have no insider information, but I can be the fake source. See, I hate the people. And some of them may have sources. Somebody actually DM'd me yesterday. One of my followers. Don't even know who it is. I don't follow the person back. But he's like, my source says, and I don't even remember what it said. I said, cool, man. That'd be cool. Not using it as a source. I don't know who he is, and I don't know who his source is. Don't get into the source game. I hate the source game. That's not who I am. It's not what I do. Sweat's going to get dealt. I hear in my own head that Sweat and Reddick are being traded to the Titans for 3-4 this year and 3-6 next year. That's as reasonably fake as anyone. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think it happened, but yeah. Bradbury for an 8th round pick. I really still think that Bradbury stays on this team. The only way that Bradbury gets traded is if it's part of a package for Patrick Surtain. Denver's in rebuild. I think Bradbury's contract, it's a lot cheaper to get out from after next season. If you're not bringing in a Patrick Surtain level cornerback, you have a better chance of hoping that James Bradbury turns it around, because he was an all-pro last year, and he was really solid with the Giants before that. You got a better chance of him turning it around than just cutting him and eating that dead cat. Why not? Just see if Vic Fangio gets him back to playing at an elite level. You'll get in a trade more for Darius Slay right now than James Bradbury. Just saying. Not saying it's what I want. Just, again, Nitro, I'm not trying to be negative, Nitro. Just bringing thoughts to the table for everybody to contemplate. It's better to keep Bradbury and hope for a turnaround than just cutting him. If you're going to trade somebody, would you rather trade James Bradbury for a 7th round pick? Or no, hold on. Would you rather cut James Bradbury and take the dead cap hit, or keep him and trade Darius Slay for a 5th round pick? Just saying. What makes more sense? And I say keeping James Bradbury is a realistic possibility. I'd really still love to add, and I don't think adding Justin Simmons, John, is out of the realm of possibility. As Chris Romanelli brought up when he was on a few minutes ago, he says Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could still be the slot corner. Remember when Adam Schefter or whoever broke the news that he was returning, they still put in there safety / slot corner, nickel corner, whatever they called it. He's still a slot corner as much as a safety. Now, the Justin Simmons thing, Fangio wants him. The fans want him. Seems like the money is not lining up between Howie and him. I'm going to go clickbait for 2 seconds. It's a power play from Howie Roseman not to sign Justin Simmons. Howie Roseman wants to give these guys, he doesn't want his coaches to have too much power. Fangio says, I want this guy. I was like, nah, I'm going to give you this guy instead. I want you to remember who's the real boss around here. Howie Roseman, it's so probably not true, but Howie Roseman is power playing in a power struggle not to let these new coordinators get too much power. Just say. It's a possibility. Maybe. I don't know. Just saying. We need to, but you don't just make stupid moves. You got to think 2-3 steps ahead. Cutting him, taking the dead cap hit for him, or keeping him. And if he doesn't work out, if he still sucks at the beginning of the year, you got plenty of young guys that can step in and fill in. Just my thought process on Bradbury. Slay isn't what he was, but still a solid cornerback. I don't see us walking away from that contract. I agree. And I'd rather Slay over Bradbury. I'm just bringing in the dollars and cents and the draft picks and everything else into it. In my mind, there's a scenario where both of them are back in 2024. You improve the line, you improve the safeties. Maybe Slay and Bradbury have better seasons with a better defensive system and more success on defense. Just throwing that out there without a shadow of a doubt. That's just my opinion. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's my opinion. Bradbury and CJ together, he said he hates that one soul gang. I thought he really hated Darius Slay too, Chauncey Gardner Johnson. But Darius Slay's out there tweeting, welcome back. Let's get to work. So I guess they're willing to forgive and forget. I guess I'm the only one not willing to forgive and forget. I think the disaster with the coordinators last season is taking the Howie power play take off the table. Oh, I know. I'm just totally throwing the most click. I'm trying to be Dan Sileo with that comment. I'm trying to be Chris Simpleton with that comment. I'm Skip Bayless all in, comma, my ass. Just make sure you say that comma there. I'm taking a playbook, a play from their playbook, and going to start some drama. Howie Roseman not signing Justin Simmons is a power play move. Doesn't want to let Vic Fangio think he's got too much power by giving him the players he wants. I'm just saying. Don't be surprised if we sign wide receiver Mike Williams that just got cut, probably only on the 1-year vet minimum. He played for Kellen Moore for like 3 games because, look, Mike Williams, love his skill set, but, dude, we don't need another injury-prone guy in here. We signed Devontae Parker. Look, Devontae Parker's not more than a 4th or 5th wide receiver. I'd rather go Hunter Renfrow for the slot. It's just one name. Tyler Boyd's out there. There's a lot of names out there. I would rather go for somebody. Hunter Renfrow had one really bad injured season, but he played all last year. I'm more looking for a guy like that than Mike Williams. Mike Williams plays like 2.7 games a year. Mike Williams is the reason why, according to experts, I use that loosely, that Justin Herbert hasn't reached his ceiling yet, which is garbage. Justin Herbert's overrated, but that's not the topic on the table. I'm just not sure. If Mike Williams could guarantee me that he'll play 13 games next year, sure, I would take him. I would take him over the veteran minimum if I could get a guaranteed 13 games and he's healthy in the playoffs. Give him whatever he wants. But I don't see that happen. So I don't want it to happen. CJ gave Baldbury his true name. I see. Mike Williams in Kansas City? Yeah, that's possible, Chris. I see Kansas City adding a wide receiver, period. I'm a big Rashid Rice guy. Keeping him. He's one of my keepers, I think, in the PSN Deep Fantasy Football League. But yeah, I see them adding a wide receiver. Maybe he becomes that guy. I could see Hunter Renfrow going to KC as well. It'll be really interesting to see how the rest of the wide receiver market shakes out. When you fill up debt on a roster, that's also special teams unit. Depth. Okay, gotcha. As I read the whole thing, now I know what you're saying. Depth. Absolutely. And that's what the Lloyd Braun linebacker signing is kind of like. It's a special teams move. It's a depth move. For sure. What's up, Davon? Do you think this whole situation with Howie talking to Saquon before? We didn't get into that today. Yeah, Howie knows the rules, and I hardly doubt he would do something like that. Let's be honest, Davon. There's illegal. There's legal tampering period now called, right? There is illegal, and there's rules in place on what's allowed during the legal tampering period. But let's be honest. Every team illegally tampers in every sport all the time. And if you don't think that happens, then I got an iceberg in Alaska to sell you. I'll give you a great deal on it. Tampering happens everywhere. What happens is when someone gets a little upset that another team is better than them, someone anonymously reports it. says, you better go look into this. You're telling me that Brian Burns, there wasn't some illegal tampering there maybe? Or hold on, I got Spot Track up here. Let me go back to not available, but all statuses here. Let's look at the biggest free agent contracts that were given out. Kirk Cousins, there wasn't illegal tampering there. Christian Wilkins, tell me there wasn't a little Raiders tampering there. Maybe at a blackjack table, Xavier McKinney going to Green Bay, no legal tampering there. Come on now. There's illegal tampering going on across the NFL, across the NBA, maybe in baseball, probably in hockey. It happens everywhere. It is what it is. And I'm not surprised. Now, will he get busted for it? That's another thing. You know what? If we win a Super Bowl, hell, if we reach the Super Bowl because of Saquon Barkley, they could find me a second or third round pick in the future. I don't give a shit. But to think that Howie isn't doing it, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? Lie, cheat, steal. What's Eddie Guerrero's old saying? Lie, cheat, steal. Trust me, it happened. You know what I'm thinking of? I make that Eddie Guerrero joke reference. After people realized that Eddie was a lie, cheat, steal, he used to bang the chair on the ground and play dead. That's what another team's doing. Another team's like, I was trying to illegal tamper. We lost out. So I'm gonna tattletale on somebody else. I'm gonna make it look like someone else was the one cheating. It is what it is. It happens everywhere though. He's from Philadelphia. I would go play with my town. A-town time. Yep. Nobody likes a rat. Snitches get stitches. It happens. I'm telling you. I don't know who was Stitch. I saw somebody say it was Mike Florio. I don't know why a media member would be the snitch, but maybe it's somebody on the Giants front office that's snitching. We didn't care when Jason Peters went to the Cowboys. Different. It was different. Peters was washed up. I can't still believe, Chris saying that Peters could be going to the Hall of Fame in 5 years as well. Does Jason Peters go in as an Eagle? He's got to go in as an Eagle, right? Most of his success was here. I mean, he had some success in Buffalo as well before the Eagles, but he's got to go in as an Eagle. There could be 3 Eagles going to the Hall of Fame in 5 years. Mike Williams is a similar situation as Russ Wilson. He can only sign for the min because his cap charged with the Chargers already. Just saying. I get it. I understand the dollars and cents part of it. And at $1 million or whatever it is, like Russ signed for with the Steelers, you could do worse. The problem is, you make the commitment that he's your third receiver, Devontae Parker's your fourth, Britton Covey's your fifth. Mike Williams is only going to play at a max 8 games. So then for 9 games, you got to start Devontae Parker in the slot, and Britton Covey's your fourth, and then you're calling up a practice squatter for your fifth. We've got too many injury-prone situations in our group. We've Saquon, we've got Chauncey Gardner, getting all these guys that are injury-prone. I don't want another injury-prone guy. I want a steady hand. It's gonna be out there every week. I just think of the Hunter Renfrow in the same scenario as Wes Welker or those smaller slot guys that have success in the NFL. When you got an offense that's got a lot of motion, which we're supposed to have this year, play action, you got a mobile quarterback. You need a small little guy that can sink into the zone somewhere, the defense, the hole in the defense, and get a little soft spot and just be there as a security blanket for your quarterback. And Renfrow fits that bill, for sure. Hi, this is Howie Roseman. Hypothetically speaking, if you were the agent of Saquon Barkley, how much money do you think he won? Hypothetically speaking, of course, right? Is that what it is? Was that the conversation that we're going to lose a draft pick? And again, I don't care. When we get to the Super Bowl, it don't matter. Take the draft pick. The tampering thing happens everywhere. All the time. And the only time you get caught is when someone's bitter over it. Dude, I would love, absolutely love. And yes, you're saying Covey's the guy that I'm describing Hunter Renfrow as. I've been saying for a year now that Britton Covey deserves a chance to at least be semi a part of the offense regularly. Like, seriously. You're telling me Britton Covey couldn't have given you at least what Quez Watkins did last year, at least give him a chance. We keep talking Sixers land, free Ricky Council, free Britton Covey. Guy's got heart. He can take a hit, keep on ticking. He's got good hands, speed, elusiveness, the size you want in that role. Give me more Britton Covey on offense. I'm not asking for him to have 30 catches a game. I'm not asking for him to have 35 catches in the year. I'm saying he could be a useful part of the offense. Why not? If old big chubby Davis, what? I don't know what that is. Do you feel like CJGJ is changing his mind? No. I know people want to start that rumor. He wasn't scheduled to get to Philly yet. Oh, it's official now. As of this morning when I woke up, he hadn't gotten to Philly to officially sign his contract. Before you sign the contract, you got to get your physical, et cetera, et cetera. Saquon and Huff got here right away. I don't know what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was doing. Maybe he was on vacation. Maybe he had some prior commitments. Why an NFL player would have prior commitments when they're a free agent at the beginning of free agency, I don't know. But he, just hasn't gotten to Philly to complete his physical to sign the deal. That is why he's not an Eagle yet. Now, there's always the chance he Frank Gore's us. What's his name? Frank Gored the Chargers. Was it the Chargers? And signed with the Cowboys, the linebacker. Now I'm drawing a blank. Brain fart moment here. Somebody else is learning what it's like to be Frank Gored. Yes, being Frank Gored is an actual thing. Doesn't just happen to the Eagles. So there's a 1% chance that's what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's doing. Maybe Chauncey Gardner-Johnson saw my show and my tweet. He's like, I don't want to go back to Philly. And maybe it's my fault that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson Frank Gore's us. It'd be hilarious. If that was really what came down, because I didn't even say it. I just gave an idea, not my opinion, an idea. It'd be really funny if I was the downfall of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming back to Philly. A misunderstood comment from me. It'd be a riot. But it is what it is. John Carter Davis better not feel relaxed. Howie will draft the D-line as always. Absolutely. He's going to draft the D-lineman. It's a matter of first, second, or third round. The Stiefel effect. That's right. The Stiefel Tower will come crashing down on you if you don't watch yourself. Are we getting press conference today with Saquon? I have not heard any rumors of when the press conferences are going to be. I haven't. Wouldn't be shocked if they try to wait till Chauncey's here and have him, Huff, and Saquon all on the podium together. It's very, very common. There is where you can call your line being Frank Gored. Yeah. The fact that being Frank Gored is an actual, description of an actual NFL thing that happens. It's unfortunate that it started because it happened to us. But that's about it. Barkley is today. Somehow I missed it. Like I said, yesterday, guys, I try to be as active on social media as possible. But man, sometimes the bills got to be paid. And the bills were getting paid yesterday at the pizza shop, and they're going to get paid today. I'm on a hard out at 9:30. I got a catering order. I got some baked ziti to make as soon as I get to the pizza shop. I got a hoagie tray to put together for a doctor's office. So, when the bills got to get paid, the phone's got to go away. All right, that's another whole subject. So I missed that the Barkley's presser is today. We'll hear what he has to say, and obviously that'll be a part of the conversation tomorrow, for sure. I'll be curious to what he has to say, why he chose to come to Philly, what he says about Jalen Hurts, what he says about this organization. I'll be really curious to listen to it. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fluff and circumstance. It's going to be a lot of, the baked CD hotline. I don't know. The Tobias Harris sucks hotline, the No Flyers talk hotline, and who do you want to crap on hotline are the contenders to compete with the I have no sponsor hotline. The I have no sponsor hotline, it flows so well. Maybe I'll use the Tobias Harris sucks hotline whenever I have a Sixers guest on the show. But that's it. I don't know. We'll see. Is your baked ziti better than Carmella? Well, Carmella didn't make the ziti. It was Grandma made it. Remember when AJ says, "What? No effing ZD today? Watch your mouth, AJ." And the priest smacked him in the back. It's priest abuse. It's child abuse from the priest there. So it wasn't Carmela's. It was Livia's ZD. Just so you know, got to get if you're gonna make a reference to Sopranos, you better make the reference correct. You can't mess that reference up. I should have Jalen Carter. Sure, I should have a lot of people on this show. You got a source to get that connection? You know how hard it is to get an Eagle on a show, let alone one of the top Eagles on a show? You send me Jalen Carter's number. I'll have him on. I would love to have Jalen Carter. Hell, I take Britton Covey at this point. I don't take any Eagle on here. It ain't as easy as it sounds. No offense, Travis. Dude, I DM so many semi or bigger famous people to come on the show. Very few people actually respond. I'm a nobody. I'm just a dude with a core 12 here. That's it. Dude, you got to get, if you're going to reference anything, you got to get it right. You got to. I love The Sopranos. Second best show of all time. Philly Mike had Slay on. Well, Philly Mike, good for him. Okay? Great job promoting another podcast in my comments there. Good for him. I don't know how everybody else gets guests on because most people ignore me when I message them. Just so you know. Philly Mike. Everybody, who cares about Philly Mike? Worry about me. Everybody bragging that Philly Mike got Slay on. Forget it. Well, I have had you on, so that makes me somebody. It does. Just so you know. My man, Jason Lee. Love you, my man. Good morning. What are you doing getting in late? We're wrapping up here in 3 minutes. The ZD is calling my name. Told my wife as soon as I get off the air, I'm texting her, get the water boiling. I'll be in the shop in 20 minutes to make it. Got a little busy. Couldn't prep it last night. You're a little late to the show today. But we're going to start the wrap-up process anyway. We'll continue talking NFL free agency. I had you on. Yeah, no offense, Mitchie Poo. I can't have you on now because all you want to do is bash Tobias Harris the whole time. I've had some big names on. Jason Lee. Legend, Philly media. A long time ago, Ron Jaworski and Trey Thomas. But they weren't me getting them on. It was my co-host at the time getting them on. But, I've had some. I don't care. Even a $500 super chat ain't get me to extend the show today. If I was making $500 a day, maybe I could. I wouldn't need to go make the big ZD. But got to go make the ZD. Yeah, my friend, wannabe place kick holder. They extended Lovato too, and they signed a man. They signed their 3 special teams guys to extensions this week. The Eagles, gotta love that. And Chris Romanelli, I shout out to him, man. Love him. Most famous Eagles season ticket holder. If you don't know who Chris Romanelli is, go find him on social media. Just Google search Chris Romanelli and Eagles Super Bowl, and the video of him being surprised by the Eagles to get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl will pop up. And it's such an emotionally great video. Him with his dad there in the video. I love it. I've watched it so many times. You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. Mama always said you'd be the chosen one. Be a little bit more mature, but you do. Come on now. Google me. If you know, you know. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up there for the day. Mitch loves to say that. Mitch is like 12 years old. Sorry. 69 jokes just don't make me laugh anymore. Maybe I've gotten old. Maybe the glasses have made me older than I really am. We're going to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. I got to see if I'm going to have anybody on for Phillies Fridays because Kylie's still in Clearwater watching and covering the Phillies. So maybe there'll be Phillies talk, maybe not tomorrow. We'll see. We'll continue free agency talk. We'll talk to Saquon Barkley presser. Anything else that happens around the NFL. Who knows? You never know. But we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button, retweet button, follow button, wherever you're watching. And we are just going to end the show simply, as always, with a Go Birds.